Hi everyone, it's Delphine from the Archer and Olive Ambassador team. As a slow reader, I've always felt intimidated by reading journals, but I finally decided to put my own spin on it in 2025 using a traveler's notebook. So let's set up this reading journal together. First up is my cover page, which I made super simple by writing my 2025 reading journal and by adding some stickers and washi tape. Before we dive in the actual spreads, I wanted to note that even though I'm adding some stickers, washies, and paper scraps, this step is entirely optional. Alright, so the first spread I included in my 2025 reading journal is a reading tracker. I've been adding a similar layout in my annual setup for years at this point, and this one was inspired by Lila Journals. I started to draw the outline of my tracker with a fine liner, making sure to occasionally remove pressure from the ruler to add a broken line effect. I corrected some of the mistakes I did along the way with a white gel pen. This is a great trick if the paper is crisp white, just like this traveler's notebook is. I repeated the process inside the rectangle I had drawn in order to fill it in later with a colored pen. I personally view this spread almost as an overview of the books I'm reading in an entire year. I think it's really fun to look back at this spread and look at all of the books I've read, the authors, the ratings I give them, all in one place. This works great for me, but if you read more than I do, you might want to focus your tracker strictly on the number of books you read, and then you can color the boxes as soon as you finish a book. I'm so happy with the way that these reading trackers have turned out because, as you will see, I have made 2 pages of these. Yes, I'm very optimistic for 2025. This leads us to our second spread, which is a books to read, also known as a TBR. This is a super popular spread that I've also been including in my annual bullet journal setup for years at this point. Shout out to Char Dangerfield for the layout. It's a pretty simple spread to make, but it's super useful. Whenever a book is recommended by a friend, a colleague, or I've watched way too many book recommendations video, I can just add it here. When the book is read, I will highlight the book title in the box and it will be very satisfying. As you can see, I have loads of boxes here, but no, I do not read my entire TBR in 1 year, unfortunately. I decided to add color to the spread using the Archer and Olive calligraphs. This is the Attic Treasures collection, and I have fallen in love with the color story of this collection and the calligraphs themselves. Don't forget, you can always use my affiliate code Delphine10 for 10% off your purchase at Archer and Olive. Okay, so this is the part where you'll see that I am the most undecisive person on the planet. I had made this really cute collage on the left page, but unfortunately I did not have enough space to write books to read. So I ended up switching everything and reusing the little collage I made onto the next spread. I had been wanting to find a way to reflect on my reading intentions for 2025 beyond the number of books I intended to read, which is why I decided to create this 2025 reading intentions list inspired by Elizabeth Turn from Plant-Based Bride. I decided to write down a couple of categories to initiate reflections on my goals for the year. For example, in 2025, what genres do I want to read? Is there a new genre that I want to explore? What books from Quebecois or French authors would I like to read? English is actually my second language, but I rarely read in French. Which classics should I dive into? I hope filling this spread will work in conjunction with my TBR and expand a little bit my reading horizons. For my last spread, I decided to create a favorite spread inspired once again by Elizabeth Turn. I don't know yet if I'll be filling it throughout the year or if I'll wait until the end of the year to do a recap, but what I do know is that it will be great to look back on. I used the same layout style as my 2025 reading intentions because I thought it would look good as a pair, very cohesive. Here are the categories I included: my favorite quote, book, ending, couple, character, writing, setting, concept. Yes, I know I have a typo. I wrote setting twice, but this is not what I meant. And the last 2 categories are actually really fun and not favorites at all. They're the worst book and the worst writing. This actually concludes my 2025 reading journal setup. As always, if these particular spreads do not work for you, do not hesitate to modify them or do new spreads altogether. To me, that's the beauty of bullet journaling. You get to customize your notebook to fit your needs, to experiment, to get inspired by the community, but ultimately you decide what works for you. I hope this video inspired you to get out of your comfort zone, try new things, and perhaps make your own reading journal. Please tag Archer and Olive and I if you end up creating your own reading journal in 2025. Don't forget to look up the blog I posted on Archer and Olive's website, as well as the printable I linked to it. Bye everyone!